voilà, Topik Konversasyon, première partie. Aujourd'hui, nous cause le spectacle qui peut arriver à partir de demain. SPC House, 7h du soir. Ticket en vente, côté Sales Office, côté SBC. Et vous capable de faire pas ça un show, côté ban zen, c'est loin, puis zen ensemble. Pour mettre performance musicale. Qui plie bon du monde pour donner nous l'information. Ça petit madame tout la journée vient nous. Il travaille comme ça ici et aujourd'hui m'arrive retourner par l'habitude pour qu'il nous ajoute avec l'information l'eau ça une activité. Alors moi un grand plaisir avec invité aussi qui nous emmène ensemble avec lui. Marie, bonjour, comment ça va?
Bonjour Sylvie, bon bien merci, très bien merci.
Ça qui m'a content avec vous Marie, mais différents bataillons au style bien merci. Et madame, bien dynamique, bien comment on lève encore par l'habitude.
Oui, oui.
On arrive, mon sœur.
Oui, pour venir rendre un petit visite, justement, pour nous causer un petit colloque qui peut arriver demain soir à côté SBC.
Et si, m'a beaucoup d'excitation, malgré que je connais un petit peu pression, probablement, pour une dernière logistique. Mais c'est moment qu'on est vraiment excités.
Oui, oui.
À cause, quand c'est ça qu'on a fait. Bonjour, comment ça va?
Bonjour, je suis bien,
merci. Il y a aussi la Zen qui me connaît, tous autres connaissent bien, avec la musique, pas trop tout le temps la musique, ou à Curtis, Curtis, comment ça va?
Bien, merci.
Pas trop mal, on lève grand matin aujourd'hui?
Oui.
C'est bon, on lève grand matin, Curtis, non?
L'habitude.
Aujourd'hui, quand on lève?
Aujourd'hui, mon est plus bonnet que l'habitude seulement.
Plus bonnet qu'elle est au lever?
Mon est de 5h30 pour moi.
Curtis, mais bon, avait dit qu'elle est au lever normalement, avait-il?
Normalement, mon lève 6h30 pour moi.
6h30? Curtis, tu es à l'école?
Non, peut travailler.
Peut travailler à présent? Finish?
Oui.
Fini avec l'école?
Non, l'école pour retourner, c'est mon pour le moment, nous peut travailler jusqu'à nous retourner à l'école.
Ah, avez-tu eu de work attachment pour capable dire?
Non, on finit l'école, on peut faire l'université pour moi.
Ah, mais quand tu peux donner nous nouvelles. Ah, mais franchement, mais donne nous nouvelles. Qui ont choisi, Curtis?
Ouais, mon choisi à l'université de Malaisie pour moi. Mon copain s'il décidé qui course vraiment, mais c'est moment de finir.
On finit choisir l'université, mais c'est moi pour qu'on est qui course.
Oui, à cause il y en a différents.
La salle qui va arriver. Mais on a une idée seulement à least au soir.
Oui, moi je fais des affaires along the line avec la musique même qui pourrait lier avec mon carrière qui va faire.
Mais qui on va faire?
Mon via dans l'industrie de la musique même.
Oui.
Moi je vais faire des affaires son, des affaires events planning, des affaires comment ça on a quitté.
Mon rabbin la relève qui est fini dans l'industrie, c'est intéressant. On va pas dire non, on va dire chapeau faire ils sont capables. Intéressant, bon sens. Comment aller?
Je suis à septembre.
Encore dans l'état.
Oui.
Encore un petit peu d'état pour relaxer, un petit peu enjoy bien. OK, papa, on est chaud là présent. Marie-Mé. Bonjour. Ah, hold on un petit moment. Moi oublié demander mon connais question pour venir. Curtis, dit café de l'eau qui me commence sur la journée qui est fini bon c'est arrivé aujourd'hui. Qui me commence sur la journée Curtis?
Ouais.
Pas dit mon juice.
Juice mon dieu. JT parler après moi le faire bonne performance.
Saute mais ça va dire parler pas tant ouais.
Non, à cause JT arrivé, à comme besoin 6 avec bien.
Oui. Mais non, mais comme là on mettre au table là aller.
Non, mon préféré juice pour matin qu'on a un petit peu de chic pour mon café mon la journée.
Enfin, n'a pas un mot pour lui, na rose. OK, Curtis, n'a pas de problème. Marie-Mé, ou moi connais un petit café?
Yes.
Un petit café pas l'habitude.
Café pas l'habitude, oui.
Oublié ou encore médilé non, serré café noir.
Café noir, yes.
Pas un petit disque un
petit disque, oui.
Un petit disque pour qu'il la journée bien
yes.
En forme. Alors, Marie-Mé, cause avec nous. Un show, SNYC décidé pour partenaire, mon capable de dire avec SBC.
Yes, définitivement.
Pour collaboration. Et nous pouvons choquer sur nos zen. Ou tout le temps ou là, des côtés au Bonzen, comment y a ça l'initiative commencé vitement?
OK, bien sûr, SBC est nos partenaires et justement, commencement là, on est utilisé avec management SBC justement pour nous capables de poser un petit peu ce partnership. Côté Zen, un petit peu plus visibilité, côté nous montrer un petit peu quelque chose de positif qui Zen peut faire et justement SBC aussi bien que les autres media house, moi qu'on est pour 10 autres besoins, on a un portfolio pour Zen pour montrer un petit peu quoi qui peut arriver et qui Zen peut faire. Si tout le monde quelque chose de positif, nous peut causer là hein. Et nous gagnons procès avec SBC pour nous capables pour collaborer avec les autres et nous saisissons l'opportunité à cause premièrement nous gagnons une plateforme pour nous capables de choquer ce que ça Zen peut faire. Nous connaissons pour dire Zen la troupe vraiment active un petit peu partout. Yes, quantité l'énergie.
Mais how do you keep up avec ça Zen?
C'est pas cause vous comprends, mon père dit ça même Sylvie. Oui. Présent ça Zen il fait mon rester Zen moi aussi. Yes.
Et vous connaissez ça, il y a production. Combien de temps nous pouvons imaginer sa production?
À peu près 2 ans.
2 ans. Qui nous peut expecter, of course, 2 ans, il commence à partir?
C'était.
C'était du soir.
Yes.
Et vous connaissez, il y a peut-être des gens qui peut être présents, qui sont à jour avec ça, l'information. Si nous voulons l'étiquette, Marie-Mé, nous pouvons faire plan là. Aujourd'hui, c'est dit.
Définitivement, si vous avez besoin, parce que sales office, côté SBC,
Oui.
on est de nouveau la case, donc on est pour dire ça une activité là, nous pouvons faire un petit peu pour commémorer un petit peu,
Oui.
célébrer un petit peu nos autres nouveaux venus. Alors, ce ticket pour votre côté SBC même.
Le côté practice, logistique, ça m'a quoi, Curtis, il est dans le domaine.
Oui.
Mettons en des ans, show des ans, Curtis, on a l'expérience là, des 3 bandes show musicales. Des show des ans, pas facile ça, hein? Et quand c'était practice, et quand c'était quelque chose. Line-up, bon artiste, qui nous perspective voir un petit peu le côté bonne performance.
Yes, en effet, artistes, il y a une zen dans la troupe même qui peut commencer dans la musique. Il y en a beaucoup de zen talent. Mais sur practice dans les mêmes, et tu viens de nous l'avantage à cause d'un petit désert, puis practice pour quelque chose qui est Snyc vient avec.
Oui.
Qui plus tard, qu'il faut attendre.
Oui.
Mais c'est mon outil désert de performance depuis février pour sa performance. Alors, nous essayons qu'il faut des toits de nos répertoires avant.
Oui.
Avec des toits de nouveaux répertoires. Nous essayons de mettre ensemble pour faire un joli spectacle.
Je connais des gens qui peuvent regarder nous aujourd'hui différents lags, Marie-Mé. Est-ce qu'il nous peut quitter pour across the board différents lags? Un petit peu nouveau, un petit peu 2000, un petit peu pliage, ben golden classics?
Yes, le répertoire est vraiment varié. Par exemple, de cause de la troupe, nous avons ça élément traditionnel, mais aussi nous avons ça élément moderne parce que c'est bon zen qui est dans la troupe.
Oui.
Alors, si on a ça mélange, nous pouvons go back un petit peu dans le passé, nous prenons un petit peu le bon répertoire, par exemple, dit national, et aussi bon international, moderne et un petit peu de nos traditions aussi. Alors, il faut un petit peu, il faut un mélange. Eh bien, si nous prenons Ben avec nos bonnes danseuses.
Ben, live, nous paraît Ben?
Définitivement. Ben,
combien de monde y en a de sa Ben, Curtis?
Well,
Combien membres?
en ce moment, il y en a 6 nous.
6 autres?
6 nous. Raison qu'il y en a 6 nous, à cause de sa tradition, nous prenons un tambour moucha, percussion, ben ça fait qui à cause pas nous dans la troupe nationale. Donc, nous avons quitter sa tradition ensemble, nous l'état nous performer.
Ben, Curtis, mon une question qui entre là, il demandait, ben là, vu que Curtis dit puis à l'université, bon sens, by the way, Vanessa, on veut connaître lesquels qui peut prendre place dans Ben. Est-ce qu'on a la relève?
Ouais, en effet, l'initiative qui est Snyc qui vient avec l'année passée, j'ai décidé pour former l'autre Ben. Alors, l'état où était la troupe nationale, il y en a des Ben. Ça est le premier Ben, pour bonne maman qui est déjà là, et deuxième Ben, c'est bonne maman qui fait rentrer. Alors, mon père prier qui va être aller, il est capable de moi, il y a une fille qui joue basse de la troupe. Moi, elle joue assez bien. Alors, mon père prier qui est capable de remplacer.
Ça veut dire hopeful.
Définitivement.
All right. Now, nous dit il y a une variété de la musique qui peut gagner performance. Le côté danseur aussi, nous pouvons variété.
Danser, nous avons membres la troupe même, mais c'est bien si, oui, ce que nous connaissons un petit peu plus lively, nous prenons une variété. Nous avons la danse traditionnelle, nous avons Sega, nous avons les autres répertoires qui peuvent gagner perform, nous prenons l'accompagnement de danseuse. Yes.
Alors, mesdames et messieurs, pour vous qui peut imaginer que vous êtes capable de faire pour ça vendredi, pourquoi pas la famille? Il y a chaud pour la famille entière, Marie-Mé?
Bien si, mon crois pour dire tout l'âge du monde est capable de venir regarder sa chose pour carrer avec eux.
Définitivement, il peut faire pareil, Marie-Mé dit, il peut faire SBC House. Et nous pouvons encourager pour venir regarder un petit peu, venir visiter nous nouveau la case, pareil, nous dit, SBC House peut encourager. En effet, il y a une porte ouverte qui peut faire, quand tu es capable de venir regarder l'office, mais il peut un peu venir pour l'autre atmosphère à soi, venir un concert qui peut faire en dedans, dans d'autres studios, plus grands studios, ticket en vente, 150 roupies. Côte SBC House, Unionville, pas Hermitage, Unionville, côte Sales Department, côte capable d'acheter au ticket et ou capable de venir regarder ça un show. Est-ce qu'il peut y avoir telle initiative encore? Si elle dit mon Maxen, est-ce qu'il peut y reload? Est-ce qu'il peut y reload? Si Maxen.
Well,
nous pas souhaiter, nous manque ça, nous sommes contents, nous venons supporter ça, supporter Sabanzen et supporter SBC aussi. Mais par contre, oui, pour un an, encore l'initiative pareille, le côté Snyc, définitivement, la troupe, là, nous sommes actuellement préparés pour un grand spectacle en Zin. Et ça, nous avons gagné l'information un petit peu plus tard, là, justement, pour choquer ça un petit peu. Et juste pour ajouter, Sylvie, la troupe, il y a assez grand, hein. Nous, actuellement, la 73 membres de la troupe, inclut la troupe la digue, parce que nous avons la digue tout.
Mais pralin, Marie.
Pralin, nous fait recruitment salonné, justement, pour lancer l'appel pour bandi moun pralin, nous fait recruitment, nous pas trop gagner bon turnout, so nous peut quitter ouvert pour les autres là, mais qui autres capables faire, nous pas pour monter encore pour nous faire sa audition, mais autres capables envoyer une petite vidéo, quand si autres un vocaliste, ils montrent un petit peu d'autres skills, ou bien si autres un danseuse, nous pouvons plus danseuse pour le moment. Vocaliste qui vient pour venir après. Alors, si vous êtes danseuse, vous êtes capable d'envoyer une petite vidéo code nous et nous pouvons style capable de faire recruiter pour groupe pralin. Yes.
Ça veut dire pour ban kilo pralin, vous êtes capable de faire. Est-ce qu'il y a un numéro de téléphone que vous êtes capable d'envoyer ça petite vidéo et audition Lola?
Vous êtes capable de communiquer avec moi-même le D 60 72 60 et je vais capable de nous donner l'information.
Là, voilà, mesdames et messieurs, sur le pralin, un zen qui a envie participe dans la troupe ou capable envoyer une petite vidéo, envoyer ou audition, par nous dit, pour sa ben zen le pralin. Numéro de téléphone, Marie-Mé?
D 60 72 60.
Là, voilà, ça, c'est le numéro qu'on est capable texte et WhatsApp. Yes, car envoyer une vidéo pour participer. Alors, show. Demain, 7h du soir, 150 roupies ticket, Unionville, côté SBC House, côté Sales Department, ou capable d'acheter au ticket. Curtis, moi, je vais dire, demande une dernière question. Son son paraît, la musique paraît, ben accordé, tout quelque chose paraît. Est-ce qu'ils autres, comme un musicien, mentalement, à cause de toute une préparation, ça?
Définitivement.
Plaisant, avec les autres zen, peut-être qu'il y a une plus grosse expectation pour les autres performer à la hauteur. Qui peut y préparer comme un unit, comme c'est causé, comme un team?
Oui, comme un team, tout le temps, on est solide. On travaille ensemble. À cause, nous sommes pour quitter mémoire à travers chaque chose qui nous fait. Alors, sans même ça qui nous vient avec beaucoup d'énergie, par exemple, il y a beaucoup de musiciens, de talents, on a beaucoup d'énergie, on a beaucoup pour donner. Et heureusement, il y a nous capables de faire soundcheck aujourd'hui, il y en a encore. Et demain, il va dire lui-même, il s'est que nous pouvons faire nos spectacles. Alors, on peut look forward à cause de l'arrangement musical est vraiment joli. Beaucoup nous pouvons coordonner ensemble. Alors, vendredi décembre, je t'ai voir, je t'ai expérimenté une nouvelle tradition, une nouvelle façon de faire bonne scène.
Et voilà mon texte qui est entré. Bonjour Sylvie et au invité, Dr. Curtis. Dr. Curtis, we are very proud of him here at Prale. Ben, dis-moi Prale, mais c'est pas tout là. Hein. Demande invité, 6 autres pour faire sa show, le Prale. Marie, mais moi, tu connais pour venir ça. Est-ce que tu as envisagé de faire ça, amène à la troupe, le Prale? Comme si tu as fait tout bien, Marie.
Mon papa pour mettre là.
Oui.
Mais c'est mon ami qui fait ça des masses.
Comme si nous sommes capables de discuter.
Oui.
Par exemple, s'il y a un petit sponsor au Prale qui a envie de participer.
Exactement.
Comme ça, on comprend.
Oui.
Prale, ça qui m'a contact Prale. Prale Unite, et si les autres ont envie de faire quelque chose, les autres pour faire. Pourquoi pas? Il y a un petit monde qui peut écouter aujourd'hui, bon matin, capable de faire un petit quelque chose. Gagne contact avec Marie, mes autres. Quand on les direct, Marie, redonne le numéro de téléphone, c'est un essence d'idée.
Des 60, 72, 60.
Oui.
Si vous avez bien envie de faire la troupe, monte Prale pour ce spectacle.
Ah là ou là. Il y a une possibilité pour explorer, peut-être qu'il y a un gars pour la fête. Ça, là, nous connaissons la fête l'indépendance, puis 50 ans l'indépendance. Donc, pourquoi pas, emmener la troupe zen, le Prale, faire il y a aider. Système pour qui a envie de participer de la troupe, pour qui a envie de venir membre de la troupe et rester au Prale. Là, au sens, ou capable de texter le numéro qui m'a donné et on fait pas et envoyer audition le WhatsApp et on va guetter. Nous avons dit on peut demander pour bons enfants ticket standard 150 roupies pour tout adultes et enfants. Et on a dit on peut demander aux enfants 3 ans. Même pas même. Même pas même.
C'est toujours capable de call Sales Office SBC pour être capable de donner plus l'information.
Là voilà, je suis capable de call Sales Office SBC, je suis capable de demander ça l'information et je suis capable plus. Marie-Mé, Mon a dit simplement pour dire merci pour venir aujourd'hui, pour partager cette information. Est-ce qu'il y a aucun petit secret qui encore que Snyc peut faire qui très bientôt envie des fois avec nous? Quand tu es sérieux?
Non? Bien, Snyc là, nous finissons commencer full swing Sylvie.
Oui.
En Mézi, nous continuons, nous avons gagné de l'information, mais en ce moment-là, nous avons une bonne zen entrepreneurs qui ont enregistré. Il y en a plus que 100 zen lomae. Et nous avons aussi l'Oin Islands et nous commençons à faire un training avec eux autres pour être capables de faire un bon projet pour envoyer des vents pour être capables d'accéder local grant.
Et là voilà, c'est toujours à jour qui autres à jour avec l'information. Mais moi, en cas de réseau avec bonne bagage qu'ils ont pour besoin, comment est zen. Et là nous dit zen quel âge de petit Marie-Mé?
Zen CCL, il est considéré comme un zen 15 à 30 ans.
Oui.
Mais c'est pareil tout le temps, on dit, parfois nous faisons provision pour un petit peu plus bas et aussi un petit peu plus haut.
Oui.
Ouais.
Sylvie pas là, Daddy. Mais you can always feel young at heart comme c'est causé. On zen de l'équerre. C'est ça qui est important. Et on a sa joie de vivre et tout. Marie-Mé, même il connaît. Il travaille avec Zedi aussi, encore jeune. Marie-Mé, merci pour venir, merci pour donner nous cette information. Quand tu es de best avec Coutim.
Merci, merci.
Nous faisons ça, nous, hein?
Définitivement.
Pareil, l'habitude, maman, il fait ça. Et voilà, mesdames et messieurs, donne aussi pour et soutien. Nous, ben zen de Snyc. Et tout souvent, nous, tout plus, on a des lèvres concentrés. La négativité, zen y en a talent, zen y en a l'expérience et zen y en a pour faire nous ici. Venez célébrer l'accomplissement de zen. Les autres font ça qui est bien, on nous célébrer les autres. 150 roupies ticket, SBC House, Code Sales Department, Show Snyc, et team complète zen qui pour mettre spectacle désertant pour capable apprécier lui. Venez. Ça il fait demain soir, à partir de 7h du soir. Nous sommes là-bas. Mesdames et messieurs, ça c'était la première partie de Topik Konversasyon pour aujourd'hui bon matin. Et voilà, nous continuons avec nous Topik Konversasyon. Et pour nos deuxième interview, nous pouvons faire en anglais pour raison de communication avec nos deux invités qui représentent African Peer Review Mechanism, qui peut faire ici Cécile. Et nous pourrons privilégier pour nous causer avec ça des invités pour causer un petit peu le travail qu'ils ont fait ici Cécile. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, on a un grand plaisir pour être aujourd'hui avec Professor Olive Moganda. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
It is an absolute pleasure meeting you this morning.
Thank you.
And you are the lead panelist for the Seychelles and APR chairperson.
Yes, I am.
Right?
Yes.
All right. And we also have with you Professor Masibo Lumala. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad yourself.
Yeah, I'm okay.
And you are the lead consultant for the APRM.
Yes, I am.
In Seychelles. All right. So we'll start first with our icebreaker, as I always call it. Professor, for your morning routine, what are your preferences? Tea, coffee, water? How do you go about it?
Most likely, I think in Kenya, tea will be the first
Tea is the best
Yeah,
one.
but before tea, you go on WhatsApp.
Water first?
WhatsApp to go and see what...
You go on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
And then comes the coffee?
Yes.
And the tea?
Then the tea, yes.
Do you drink tea with milk and sugar?
Yes, we call it no sugar because
No sugar?
I think I'm sweet enough. But yeah, we have it as a, African tea.
Yes.
You know, tea
It's the
masala.
good tea.
Yeah, very good milk tea.
Okay.
Boiled together.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Professor Olive, your morning routine, is it tea, coffee, water? How do you start your day?
I'm a tea person.
You're also a tea person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Milk and sugar?
Milk and a bit of sweetener,
Okay.
and then a bit of masala.
Okay. Oh, so you
Yes.
both? So this is a thing in Kenya? A little bit of masala in the tea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OK, OK, mesdames et messieurs, aujourd'hui bon matin, nous allons parler de quelque chose que tu es capable de partager. Nous avons un petit peu de masala. I'm going to try this at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like
and a bit of ginger.
and a bit of ginger as well.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a ginger masala tea.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah,
Or dawa.
Dawa.
Yeah.
So we learned something new. So, Professor Lumala, you are from which side of Kenya?
I'm from the Rift Valley. I'm actually based at Mo University
Okay.
in Eldoret, where I'm a professor of strategic communication. And a lot of farming goes on, and all the people who run in Kenya come from there.
Okay. And Professor Olive?
I come from Kikuyu.
Yeah.
Kikuyu is very near Nairobi, so it's more or less like Nairobi.
Yeah.
And yes, I've been a vice chancellor of one of the public universities. Yes.
All right, so it's a pleasure to meet you. Now, let's talk about your why you are in here in Seychelles. Now, first of all, let's start with this simple. What is the African peer review mechanism, and how is Seychelles benefiting from it? I don't know who will... Professor Olive, yes?
Okay, I can go first.
Yes.
Yeah, so the African peer review mechanism is a tool under the African Union,
yes,
which was formed about more than 20 years ago, and is supposed to, to assess different areas in African countries, education, governance, leadership, economic development, depending on what the countries want. So we do that and then give the recommendations to the heads of states so that they can use the framework, the plan of action to make changes in their own countries.
All right.
Yeah.
And let's say benefiting Seychelles, obviously, we do have an education system which is already in place.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does the process start? Where do we start with that process? Yes, Professor.
Well, first and foremost, we're here courtesy of the invitation of the Seychelles government.
Yes.
Without them, we will not be coming in. And by the time the government is inviting us, then they give us what they really think is important for them. So in this particular case, I think Seychelles invited us to be able to look at the entire education system, be able to, it's like from where I sit, I see Seychelles giving itself a mirror and a window. A mirror to look at itself in the eye through APRM,
Yes.
a third party's view, and be able to reflect on the education system, what is working, what is going well, what challenges the country could be having, what gaps are there, and then be able to make recommendations for us. We shall be able to say, well, to address this is what could be done. And the window is for Seychelles then to be able to pick lessons from other African countries.
Yeah.
You look outside, you look at what is going on, because as she says, APRM is actually run by the African heads of states. There are about 46 member states that have signed up to the APRM. And so they get an opportunity to be able to say, look, this report goes to AU, and your president gets to be peer reviewed by his colleagues. So fellow presidents will get a chance to look at what we have done. Yeah.
And of course, in order for you to review, you have to understand what the system is,
yes,
how it's functioning.
Yeah.
Now, the predecessors before had a system in place, and now with the new government, changing government in Seychelles, it is expected for another system to be in place. How does this affect the existing, the students in the school, the workers in the school, reforms that will be made? How does that impact on the students and the workers of the Ministry of Education in Seychelles?
Well, education is a very dynamic entity, and it's constantly changing. Yeah. So it will not be Seychelles alone that is looking at this. Other countries have gone through a similar process, and they have been able to say, what worked in 1980 cannot be working in 2026. Yeah. And especially when you think about the focus on the 21st century skills. So for the workers, for the children in school, we're looking at not to say that this curriculum will be set aside. There will be a bit of continuity. Yeah. And in fact, I think what we are looking at is one, how is the curriculum working? What are the strengths of the curriculum? What can be tweaked to improve the curriculum? Yeah. If you're looking at discipline in school, it's important that the children realize the value of education and they are able to be supported by their parents. So what is the place of the parent insofar as strengthening the education system? But in particular, technology is here to stay. Okay. In fact, we used to say, technology is for the future, but we are here now.
We're already in the future.
We are in the future, and AI is here. So as long as Seychelles is going to have to align its education system with the international practices and the global trends, inevitably we have to embrace technology in our schools. But how do we do it in a safe way so that it's not just about children having laptops, it's not about schools having gadgets, but how do we meaningfully make use of this technology? Yeah. And so there will be a few things that may change, but or strengthened, because the intention is to prepare Seychelles for a future-ready world.
And of course, you've already probably had the chance to meet some of the stakeholders in Seychelles.
Yes.
And I'm assuming you've had the chance to also review the curriculum of Seychelles. What are your thoughts, Professor Olive?
Yes, we were able to meet His Excellency, the President, who is very keen to receive the report and some of the reforms that we are recommending. We are also able to meet with the Minister for Education, who already has the 5-year strategic plan, and are also very keen to to see what we have to see from the stakeholders. We've been meeting stakeholders the last 2 days.
Yes.
We have met the heads of secondary schools, heads of some of the professional colleges. Yeah, we've met some of the leaders in the education system, and they are all very keen professionals. They know what they want. Yeah. They know their gaps. Some of the gaps they have talked about are key, and we are going to address them in terms of the curriculum, the relevance of the curriculum, the skills, the student, some of the things professors have talked about. So we are looking at all that coming from the stakeholders, coming from the leaders, and then we are going to put it all together.
Now, would this include the private sector as well, or just the
we have met already the international schools.
Yes.
We have met, and we shall definitely involve the private sector and the industry, because you see, there's need to align the education system with the labor market. So you're producing people for what? So far, Seychelles has, obviously for reasons that this is a small island, very few people around here. So you still have expatriates coming in, but it is very practical and expected that then the education system should be able to fill up the gaps in terms of the skills required by the labor market. Yeah. You need to produce masons, you need to plumbers, you need electricians, and this will come from the professional colleges, from the PCs, which I think are doing a fantastic job already. Yeah. Of course, we have also looked at performance in terms of examinations, the transition levels, the retention levels, the dropout rates. And in all fairness, I think, I love your ECD. The IECD is doing a wonderful job in terms of enrollment. Actually, it's over 100%. Yeah. And when we go to primary, as we move to the second level, the numbers go down a bit. Look at the university. We're yet to go to the University of Seychelles, but we hope to meet the Vice Chancellor, and we hope to ventilate around the enrollment of university students and how performance at A level is impacting on the number of students they have. So really, the curriculum is doing well. The access rate in this country is one of the highest, which is wonderful. Now the focus, as the minister was telling us, should shift to quality performance. Yeah, the focus should be shifting to the skills, to the competencies that should then make any child we meet on the streets being able to say, I can do this.
But we have to reflect also on the quality of the grades that we are receiving in Seychelles right now for the academic side of the sector.
Yeah.
It hasn't been one that we can say the nation has been quite pleased with, especially when it comes to sciences and maths. Yes. Will we be concentrating on certain subjects in particular as a point of reference for first? Any?
I can comment and say that, during the interviews also that came up, the quality of the students and the grades that they are getting, and as a result, a lot of them are not able to go to A level, so the transition there is not high. And even worse, going to the transition to the university. So there's a problem there in terms of the quality of those grades. And we need to look at what is causing that. Is it the students? Is it the skills? Is it the teachers?
Yeah.
And look at how that can be improved so that we can have access to university, which is actually almost, is it 14%?
14%.
It's very low going to the university. Yeah. So there's a problem there, because if you look at access at lower levels, it's okay. But going to A levels, going to the university is low.
It loses track along the way.
It loses track.
Yeah,
so we are going to look at what are the courses, where are the students doing well, Is it what can the parents do? We know there's quite a bit of indiscipline, even from the stakeholders telling us, so what are you going to do that? Is that affecting the level of performance, and what can we do about that? We are going to also look at the examinations. We know the examinations are normally from outside.
Yeah.
We are thinking, is it a time now the country can start now having their own examination body? Okay. Because could that be affecting the performance? So we are going to look at all these indicators and see how that can be improved.
And we know within the sector we have a lot of expatriates as well within the sector.
Yeah.
How does that directly or indirectly could possibly affect the education system?
Well, directly or indirectly, at various levels. Of course, no country can be self-sufficient, and Seychelles is not self-sufficient when it comes to manpower, when it comes to teachers. And so we know that there are quite about maybe over 80 teachers who are in the country, and they are expatriates. Two things. One is that probably there's also differentiated salaries between Seychelles and the expatriates, and that could affect the local teacher who thinks that they are not as well remunerated. The other thing is consistency in terms of even cultural understanding. So you might find when you come in, it will take you a bit of time to settle down and settle in and be able to say, oh, this is how to go about
culture
this.
shock as well, isn't it?
There's
especially
a bit
when
of
we talk
culture
about
shock.
discipline.
In the classroom. So, and in respect to management, I think let me quickly say something about school management, because schools are run by school councils. Most of the appointments are made by the ministry. And there's very little autonomy on the part of the principals in terms of being able to say we have a say here. So there is a thinking that probably that whole process can be relooked at, and also the budgeting process, because it is both top, bottom. And so you have a strategic plan which you want to implement. I want to buy 2 cups for myself. But then the ministry doesn't realize that the cost of that cup is this. So eventually the money that you receive is not necessarily aligned to the strategic plan that you have. And some of that should be, therefore, we are looking at how can the budget making be more people-centered? How can it be more inclusive? And how can it lead to what we call public participation? So before the budget is read, can we start early enough to interrogate what everyone wants within the ministry?
I like how you also brought in the teachers, which is fundamental in this whole process. Now let's talk about the importance of teacher development and professionalism.
Absolutely important. How do we train our teachers? Actually, schools are the teachers. If you do not have sufficient manpower in schools, then there's a problem. So, let me tell you something. We have met several stakeholders, right from the government at the ministry level, through the principal secretaries, and even the director generals. And it's amazing, including National Assembly members, that most of them were teachers. But they have since left the profession. So the attrition level is very high, and probably that's because of remuneration. So how do we ensure that a teacher is well paid, a teacher is well motivated, and a teacher is well deployed, because deployment is a whole process that affects how one performs. And so their place is important, but also how do we ensure their positive attitude and positive contribution to the profession? Do they enjoy being teachers, or do they just find themselves there because it offers a ready job?
Yeah, I think I just want to emphasize that when we talk to the teachers, especially the salaries, it's something that really we have to look at, because then, as he said, a lot of them are leaving because of that. They need to be motivated, and but the attitude is good. Only that, if you can look at some of the gaps that they talked about, then you'll be fine.
What about the psychological aspect of the psychological review? Are we adding that element to the review as well?
Really, that is coming out through the school discipline. And for teachers, the psychological bit of it comes, especially in A-level, where, you know, in the lower secondary school and probably S4, S5,
yes,
the issues are all around, maybe students transit, not being able to come to school and all that, and a few other things. But when it comes to the A levels, we have heard from the participants that the students become a little bit even hard on the teachers. So they go very personal. They will ask you very specific questions.
Yeah.
And this, of course, has a very psychological effect on the teachers, teacher satisfaction.
But even the young themselves are going through a change.
Yeah.
Moving from puberty.
Exactly.
Questioning oneself, finding this self-discovery as well.
That puts less emphasis then on counseling. What is the level of counseling in schools? Do we have enough counselors? The issue of careers, for example.
Yeah.
How are the children prepared for careers? Do they know what they want early enough? Or do they wait until when they are 16 and then they are told, what do you want? And you're given 2 seconds, 3 minutes to make a major decision.
And fill up a form and sign.
And sign it.
Yeah.
So where did all this start? And I think this is where parents come in. Being able to tell your child very early enough that, you know, these are the careers.
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Small kids in Kenya will tell you they want to be oncologists. And so you start thinking,
that's a big word for a
who
small
told
child.
you?
But also,
But it's exciting as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we realize there's also the disconnect between the teacher and the parent.
Okay.
So that even when you talk of discipline, where does it start? And are the parents feeling that is the work of the teacher?
Okay.
Are the teachers feeling that is the work of the parents?
So we bring in accountability.
Yes,
Yes.
And working together.
Yeah.
Because this child spends a lot of time in the school, but also at home. So if they work together, then we can start improving that discipline.
So parents have to be accountable as well for, for their children as well.
Yeah.
I like how we're going on with this conversation. Now, of course, what about student engagement, inclusion, behavior and well-being? I know we've touched base on the discipline part, but will that be also the aspect of the review as well?
Yes. Yes, so far we're looking at, like, we have interacted with one of the head teachers of a special needs school.
Yes.
And their needs are very different from those of the other schools.
Okay.
So the way you engage students will also lead to their success rates. Believe me, if a child is well taken care of and the school environment, the classroom environment is in such a way that it's friendly, it's inviting, then it will. So that is something that we are also going to review about. The student engagement is one of the things that we are really placing, but inclusion is another thing in terms of gender. I think we are really concerned about the number of boys and the number of girls in schools, but also who is doing better. Yeah.
And I think one thing we realize is that the country may want to consider a special school.
Okay.
Because, you know, if a child has a problem, then they are not being able to be integrated properly in the mainstream school.
Okay.
So in some of the countries we have seen, we have those special schools where these children can be helped specifically. Okay. And then be integrated into the normal school.
Because right now in Seychelles, the special needs students are going to the main schools.
Yes, which is a problem because, you know, maybe the focus is not there a lot.
Yeah.
Starting a special school as a country would help.
Yeah.
So that if they improve, then they can be integrated.
Specialized teachers as well.
Yeah, specialized teachers.
Yeah, you know, dealing with the ones that have got hearing problems and all other, you know, disabilities. So that's a major recommendation coming from the teachers too.
Yeah. Look, say for example in Palin you have a school where you have all these children with different needs.
Yes.
And they are all integrated in the mainstream school, but the teachers are not trained and well equipped to handle children with special needs. Yeah. Some children are extremely exceptionally good, and those can also find it difficult to fit into the context of an ordinary class. Yeah. Now, I know that in some schools there's a stream A, stream B, stream C, stream D, that kind of streaming where you know A is an A student.
Yeah.
And then B and C. That could also be a problem in itself. So how do we arrange our students in such a way that they don't feel discriminated against?
And can I add on to it? What are some? Are you able to also assess the governance, leadership, and the institutional capacity in the education system in Seychelles? Will you be, because we talking about the teachers, we're talking about the students, what about the heads?
What we realize is that I think they need to be empowered.
Okay.
They need to be empowered. They need to be a bit more, autonomous. A lot of them are feeling that they may not have the power to even hire, to suggest. I think the system is a little more centralized in the ministry. So they're feeling that they are the head, but do they have the power to make decisions?
Are we having an issue of micromanagement?
Well, governance starts at the ministry level, right?
Yes.
So right from the minister coming down, going into the schools, and yes, I think to some extent the schools need to be given some leeway to be able to make decisions. Look at, say, an independent school, an independent private school. It's managed by a school board. And in this school board, all decisions are made. If the principal has an issue, he will deal with it there and then. Now, for public schools, that is not the case. The process becomes even much longer to be able to make decisions. Two, I mentioned the appointment to the councils. What is the role of the council? Can this be relooked at so that the people who are appointed to the council can be able to do the job and support the school principals and not hope that the school principal will do everything for them. Okay. So there's a bit of course, structurally it's very sound, but I think there's so much concentration at the center. Okay. A little bit of that could be devolved. So
I like how you brought in structure. Hopefully you've had a chance to visit ICT and digital learning. What about the infrastructure? The ICT and digital learning, where does that come into all of that?
Yeah.
That's
yeah. No, the thing is, I must confess that most schools, especially those that are offering even A-level and are mid-level, they have no problem with the ICT. Most of them can access the internet very, very easily, which is a plus.
Even to the little ones,
And even the little ones everywhere has a phone. In fact, I was told that the only way, if you want to pass a message to the young people, put it on TikTok, and everybody will get it. Yeah. But now the question is, at the PC's level, we have a slight problem. CEDOL is not offering courses online. They don't have a learning management system. Okay. So, although you are calling yourself an open and distance online, open learning, but there is still no distance learning happening. So we have, the ministry is making steps in the right direction. Yeah. Already 4 schools have smart classrooms, and I think this is really very helpful. It's going to address the gap that comes with geography. So a student who is on an island can still take A-level programs online without necessarily having to come to Mahia.
Which is costing government as well.
Yeah, and it's costing government, but it's getting support. Yeah. And so I think I will really want to urge that an AI policy is put in place. Okay. To complement the ODEL policy, and so that to ensure that because everybody is going online, and there's no better way of ensuring what's the word again? Seychelles. Yeah, that one. You are able to actually access education everywhere and anywhere, because technology really removes all the impediments to access.
All right. And of course, you will be here for how long?
Another 5 days.
Another 5 days?
Yes. Yeah.
And do you believe that you will be able to give a very sound and concrete evaluation of the education system, or would you possibly be recommending a phase 2 to come back and revisit? And
I think a lot of work has already gone on. Okay. I mean, we had a lot of literature, a lot of desk reviews, so we have a lot of information. Okay. And then we have worked very hard to meet almost all the stakeholders. Okay. We're also doing interviews, individual interviews. We are doing surveys. Yes. And therefore, we are confident we are going to get the data. Yes. Of course, in future, if we have any gaps, we will still be able to, to advise. Yes. But for now, we are confident that we'll be able to come up with a good.
I will say exactly, absolutely. Yes. We are sure that we shall be able to objectively come up with the report. Yes. As she says, I want to compliment the teachers of this country. We gave them we sent out a survey instrument, and the response has been excellent. Almost by yesterday, when we just put it online, 200 teachers had already completed the survey.
Yeah.
So we hope that by the end of today and tomorrow, probably we'll have had 800 responses, which will be very good.
Which is very good for your evaluation.
Absolutely. We are meeting school children as well.
Yes.
So we're not leaving anyone behind in this whole process. We are meeting parents.
Yes.
And this morning we also have even a further interview with the Minister for Education to clarify some of the emerging issues. So we're doing sufficiently good enough to be sure that by the end of the day, we will be able to generate a report, but this report should be owned by Seychelles, not APRM.
Yes.
Our work is to midwife a process, and then that the country will be able to pick some of the recommendations, if not all, and move forward. So,
will there be a follow-up of
absolutely.
what Seychelles is doing with the review?
Oh yes, we have a monitoring and evaluation team at APRM.
Yeah.
So once the report is prepared and is given to the president, and the president will also share it with the other heads of state, but also make sure there is we have a national development committee that is going to look at the implementation. Yeah. And then we'll follow up. APRM will follow up to make sure that the implementation is happening. Yeah. And
so Seychelles will be monitored?
Yes.
Yes, there will be a national plan of action.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone at APRM will take responsibility for that.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for coming, Professor Olive, and I hope even though you're working, you will still have the privilege and the pleasure of enjoying Seychelles as well. And
yes, I'm here for the first time and I'm already enjoying it, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you for coming, Professor Mala. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you this morning, sir. Thank you for coming and explaining to us what's going on, and all the best in your work.
Thank you.
Asante sana to you as well. Mesdames et messieurs, voilà notre Topik Konversasyon. Revi système d'éducation Cécile. Il est fondamental et important, mais non pas juste pour les élèves, pour nos bons enseignants qui donnent l'apprentissage, mais aussi pour parents qui rôle dans l'éducation aux enfants. Est-ce qu'il existe l'école? Est-ce qu'il on a sa responsabilité aussi? Councils, ministères en général et tous les stakeholders qui font part l'éducation, fondation, nos nations est vraiment important. Est-ce qu'il y a un révi nécessaire? Oui, d'après un professionnel. Est-ce que c'est pour implémenter d'après sa révi? Ça, il reste avec dans la main bonnes key stakeholders qui pourraient implémenter sa révi, qui pourraient faire le système d'éducation. Alors, ça, c'est notre Topik Konversasyon pour aujourd'hui. Bon matin.